Star quality. I got it. I got this. You got it. You got it. My chart says so. Look at me go. Sun, moon, rising. It's all about time. It's all about time. Earthlings. What's it all mean? What's it all mean? Star quality.
What's it all mean? What's it all mean? Mean.
Star quality. No, dude, really, what does it all mean? Star quality. I got it. You got it. We got it. Star quality. Star quality. Welcome back to Star Quality, everybody. I'm your host, Stevie Goldstein, astrologer, writer, podcaster, host, and this is another episode of Star Quality where I want to go over the astrology of March, the month of March. The month of March, astro-wise, has been a topic of conversation for everybody because it is quite historic. We have a lot of energy happening all at once. It's definitely hands down the most turbulent, difficult, jaw-dropping, shocking, but hopefully some good surprises in there too. Month that we have in 2025. It's definitely been the month that everyone has been looking out for, that has been on astrologers' radar. And if you follow astrology, which you probably do if you're listening to this, but if you follow like astrology accounts or track astrology yourself, you're probably seeing a lot of things. I've seen a lot of like infighting about don't scare people and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I mean, I don't think, like leading with fear or if like content or posts or whatever, like stir up fear. I hope that's not the goal of any astrologer, but also weather forecasters aren't gonna say it's a clear sunny day if it's a tornado outside. So it's a tornado outside. We go in the basement when there's tornadoes. And I think knowing what we're dealing with and knowing what the astro weather is only helps you best navigate it. And it's not just going to be tips of like, oh, it's Mercury retrograde, like don't sign a contract or whatever. That's stuff we kind of know, but also I want to get into how to best work with this energy that we're in right now with March, because I've just been talking to so many friends and online friends and in real life friends and like people, there's a general consensus of being stuck, feeling afraid, not knowing what's next. Like it's just feeling all really confusing and up in the air. And there's a few transits that definitely point to all of this. It's like a big combination. And that's the thing with astrology is there's so many different elements, literally elements, but also the elements of what the planets are doing, how they're interacting with each other, and what does that mean for us here on Earth. And the planets, some astrologers agree to disagree, whatever. Planets don't dictate what will happen. They don't say, oh, it's this is for sure going to happen. But does the energy, does the weather, does the vibe, if you will, support things like this to happen, right? Does it encourage it or does it discourage it? I say this all the time in readings, which also natural plug right there. If you'd like to get a reading with me, I have some times available. So please book a time. It's a great time to get a reading because this is a really great time to check in. Not just, again, in like a shameless plug sort of way, but this is a real crossroads time. And this is going to dictate what the rest of the year's energy is going to be like for a lot of people. And so why not now? Why not this time to touch base? Plus, we're about to have the Astrological New Year also in this. That's of every March, but it's extra potent this year because of all the transits that have already begun. So yeah, before we dive in, we're going to go over table of contents. We're going to go over all the transits of the big heavy hitters of March, what that means, how we can best work with that energy, and we'll go from there. If you like me and like this publication, please consider becoming a paid subscriber for $7.77 a month. You will buy me a coffee, which fuels me to make these episodes and to write the articles and give you all the bonus content and all that. I think I will. I've been such an, which my subscribers probably hate to hear, but hopefully they don't because hopefully they want to, they're also supporting the free content as well. I have been like unpaywalling a lot of stuff lately because I feel like a lot of people need this information. But I think I am going to put up a paywall for this episode and give you guys individual horoscopes for each rising sign and how to navigate March. So it's going to be like a March horoscope for each sign. So that's going to be after the paywall. You'll know when the paywall hits if you're a free person because it's going to be like, to keep listening, do this. Um, but if you are a paid subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're not, do it if you'd like to. You can even do it for a little bit and turn it off or do whatever. There's also a 7-day free trial if you want to check it out and get your horoscope, and be a little trickster. But join my third space. The more people who come in and gather and make a space where we can all communicate and share and study and discuss astrology together, the better. So let's talk about March. Um, March 1st. Ever heard of it? That's actually a good reminder. I'm recording this on Monday, March 10th, 2025. So we are moving through March, but it is gonna get even weirder really soon. We're in the beginning of the hyper weirdness week right now as I'm recording. But before we get to present day, I want to talk a little bit about 9 days ago, which 9 days ago. So on March 1st, we started the month already out the gate. Like, what the hell? Because we had Venus going retrograde in the sign of Aries, and eventually Venus will retrograde back into Pisces. And that's later this month. So Venus retrogrades happen. They happen like I think it's like 18 months, every year and a half ish, almost two. So it's not like an unusual thing. It definitely, more infrequent than Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is the most common, where Venus and Mars retrogrades, those personal planets, do affect more of our everyday, where the outer planet retrogrades, or even like the social planets, Saturn, Jupiter, outer planets, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, not like as big of a deal, if at all. So if you see, I think they do mark moments, but they're not like as impactful as Mercury, and nowhere near as impactful as Venus and Mars, because Venus and Mars retrograde, since they are like these kind of every, let's just call it two. I know it's like not exact two, but these every two-ish year retrogrades that are such shit or get off the pot check-in times, which we kind of naturally have in our relationships, in our jobs, in our dynamics, in all those things. So they typically are going to pack a bigger punch. So this Venus retrograde came right hot off the heels of Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde ended on February 23rd. Then we had like 5 days. I posted about it, like the 5 days of bliss or disassociation or whatever you ended up doing during that Pisces new moon. And then we immediately then started the month. We got 5 days off, then went straight back into retrogrades. So far, 2025, and not until April 12th, when Venus retrograde ends, we will only have known, besides 5 days, every day from April 12th till April 12th, besides those 5 days, has been retrograding. And that's just a long time. That is just a long time. It's the beginning of the year. And a lot of people have been feeling this kind of false start, like things aren't really moving. Not even that things aren't even moving backwards, even just, well, in some regards, some things are moving backwards here in this country, but ultimately just a really stuck and frozen feeling. So I think that's also why I wanted to hop on and just talk about March, because a lot of people keep coming to me feeling really alone and isolated, that they're not progressing in their life. And that's just sort of what's happening right now. If you're thriving, you're probably in the minority right now, or you're a billionaire. So then you really should be paid subscribing for the year, and you should be paying for everybody else's paid subscriptions for the year. Not that if you are a billionaire, you have a mental health problem. Anyways, so back to March. Venus retrograde. Okay. We're in that. That is all of March, well into April until April 12th. Venus retrograde. Next up is the real, you know, event, if you will, is what's coming up. And there will be a separate episode on this that comes out in a couple days when this drops, is the full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo. So we're starting eclipse season in the midst of this Venus retrograde and all this March madness. So we're having this eclipse that's happening. It's like in the middle of the night. So for us here on Pacific Coast time, it's happening at 11:54 p.m. on the 14th. Excuse me, on the 13th, and then everywhere else, or time moving forward, like Eastern time, it's going to be on the 14th at at 2:54 a.m. Eastern time. So in the wee hours of the night here in the United States, so that cusp, buzzword, that cusp of the 13th, 14th, we're going to be having the full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo. So we started this eclipse series back in September. The first one we had was on the other side of the axis in Pisces. That was September 17th, 2024. Feels like a lifetime ago. And now this will be our first one in Virgo. So the South Node is in Virgo, the North Node's in Pisces. That's how we determine where the eclipses are happening. And so Virgo, kicking this off on Virgo, this Virgo eclipse at 24 degrees of Virgo is new. We haven't experienced this yet. I mean, we had years and years ago, but this is the first in this round of eclipse series. And this eclipse story is going until 2026. So it started, let's to give you benchmarks, starting in fall of 2024, then all of 2025, and then we're really not wrapping it up. The last one is going to be in August, end of August 2026. So the realms of Pisces, particularly Pisces, but especially with, we have the Virgo energy, but we have all this retrograde March energy, all featuring Pisces. I'll recap, don't worry. But on the I'm mixing up my dates. On the 13th/14th, we have the full moon Virgo eclipse. And then the following day, pretty much around the same time too. It's like that same thing, like that edging at 11:46 p.m., aka 2:46 a.m. on the March 14th or the 15th for Eastern. Then we go into Mercury retrograde in Aries and Pisces. Okay, so let me recap for the class. Venus retrograde in the signs of Aries, then retrogrades back into Pisces. Got it. Full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo, part of the eclipse series with Pisces. Okay, Mercury retrograde starts in Aries, retrogrades back to, you guessed it, Pisces. We keep coming back to Pisces. We keep coming back to Pisces. We keep coming back to Pisces. Something is unsettled in this realm. Something needs healing because Pisces is so connected to our spirit. It's the end. It is the last sign. There is an ending. There is an overdue ending that is here. And I think it's hard for a lot of us to face that. How I've been kind of reconciling with it in terms of at least our country in the United States, and also just where we are as a collective, is we're in a new world. We're in a new era. We're in a new systems of entertainment, new systems of technology, new systems of equality. And the fear of the future, the new stuff, which is Aries, is strong. I don't know if it's because Saturn's in Pisces, and I think Saturn in Pisces is actually trying to teach us all to loosen our grip and to let old things die and to let us have our seasons, which makes a lot of sense too, with March 20th um, is the astrological new year. Normally, and still is a time to celebrate and to welcome in the new. And this is normally, you'll see like every astrologer basically saying, like, now the new year's begun. Not really, because we're still in this fuckery of March. And I've been telling people, my clients, and so you're getting a sneak peek if you book a reading with me, that we're really not going to feel that new year energy start really until mid-April, April 12th, specifically when Venus retrograde wraps up and we're clear out of eclipse season. Like, yes, it does start March 20th. Like, we can't discredit that and discount that, but it's still going to be that slow. It's not going to, it's going to be that New Year's party that disappoints a little bit, possibly. Again, if you have fun, if you're like thriving again, then pay for everyone's subscriptions. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you're thriving, again, I've yet to meet many people currently that are feeling that energy because a lot of things are just feeling really stuck and really stagnated. Okay. So the dates we had it March 1st, Venus retrograde began. March, oh my God, why do I keep like, yes, because it is okay. March 1st, Venus retrograde. March 13th, the full moon eclipse. Okay. March 14th, Mercury retrograde. Got it. March 20th, Astro New Year. That's not particular to this March, but worth noting. Okay. Then March 27th, that Venus retrograde that began in Aries, now back in Pisces, just flagging that date. So we are going to feel that switch heading back to that old Piscean territory. And why that's noteworthy is we have another eclipse right after that. Now, that's not like that weird to have two eclipses back to back because that's like they're always in that same lunation. So usually, yeah, there's like the full moon lunar eclipse, then it's like the days between the solar eclipse, and like that's very common. But we're experiencing both of these in this March madness, as it's been aptly titled. And so we're going to have what makes it extra juicy is we're going to have the new moon in Aries, partial solar eclipse happening on March 29th, 2025. And that is the last one of the Libra Aries eclipse series. That's it. We are done with that tale for now. And just to refresh, those eclipses started in the fall of 2023. So the first one we had was October 14th, 2023 in Libra. The first one we experienced for Aries was April 8th, 2024. And was that the only other one in Aries? That was. And if you recall, that was the big one that we could see here in the US where people traveled to the path of totality and all of that. And then the rest were in Libra in 2024, but it's still on that same axis. So we're wrapping up I'll get to this. We're wrapping up the Aries Libra eclipse story. So you want to look at where the Aries Libra eclipses were, which houses they were affecting in your natal chart. And if you don't know, again, book a reading. I will tell you and show you, and we'll go over all of that. So you definitely look back at what was happening on those dates. I should make my own, but I use the Susan Miller, love her, table of eclipses timetable. It's such an easy reference to look at those dates really quickly. So I'll link that as well. So, oh my God, and we're not even done with the juiciness of March. Like it continues. It continues. So another eclipse, so the one we just had in Virgo is the first time we're feeling it in Virgo. And this is the last time we're feeling it in Aries. And so is this not, especially with the Aries energy, which we'll get to because we're wrapping up Pisces stuff because we're trying to channel the Aries energy. Is this just not the alarm of alarms to really understand yourself? Like, if you, I hope, maybe I should save any dire, like wild sounding like stuff for paywall because I'm like, I feel like a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe this with my whole heart. And if you're here listening, like, I hope you're taking in this information from a place of wanting to feel stronger during this time and not just like throw your hands up and be like, yeah, I'm weak and yeah, this sucks. Like it's a challenge and we're going to have to rise up to the occasion of the challenge. And the challenge is to really get comfortable being ourselves because the more we hate ourselves, we distance ourselves from ourselves. Like this is what the evil forces of the world want for people to do. And so there really is a gift in liking yourself. If maybe you didn't have to buy products to continue the hatred of yourself, to maybe you are really fine the way you are. And maybe you're actually living through historic times that are really difficult and it's not you and you're not a failure. I don't know. I just had a call with my finance guy and sometimes you got to talk to people who just work with numbers and facts and data. And I was like, oh, wow. Like sometimes you're just at the mercy of incompetent leadership. And so all you can do is be a really strong soldier for yourself to think of like Aries keywords. Okay. Then that same day, hello, I think it's like an hour later too. I got to double check. Okay, it's not, but it's later that night. Later that night, later that night, Mercury retrograde back into Pisces. Okay. All right. What is that? What does she mean? Back into Pisces. And then huge news. Neptune, the next day, Neptune, March 30th, Neptune moves into Aries. Outer planet change. That is big. Huge. That is not little stuff. This is generational. This is long lasting. Neptune, which I got to double check the stats. There'll be a whole episode on this. So, and I think I've said this, but I'll say it again. There'll be episodes on everything I mentioned, basically. Eclipse episode's coming. Mercury retrograde episode is coming. I already made one for Venus retrograde because it's already weekend. That was a written article. So I'll relink that. New moon eclipse episode absolutely coming. And then this Neptune, of course. Of course. Neptune in Aries starts March 30th, 2025. It's been in Pisces since 2011. It's like, I think a 12-year stay. Gotta double, triple check that, but decades, right? Like long periods of time that symbol generational changes. And so Neptune is going to stay in Aries until October 22nd, 2025, before it dips back into Pisces. We're not done. We're not done with Neptune and Pisces. Have you noticed a theme? We're not done with Pisces. We're not done with a Pisces story. We have to end a Pisces story. What Pisces story are you ending? And this is not to say end all Pisces. On the contrary, it's just these are archetypes, right? These help us process our lives, society, culture, all this stuff. What in Pisces is wrapping up, what in Aries is about to flourish and be something totally new. So yeah, Neptune is going to stay in Aries from March 30th to October 22nd, dips back into Pisces. Then it's going to move back into Aries on January 26th, 2026. I can't even believe I'm saying these like dates. These always felt really far away when I started studying astrology, and now they're here. And then it's going to stay there till March 2039. We are shifting into a new timeline that we're tickled and teased with in 2025, that's full-fledged in 2026 and stays till 2039. So Neptune, if you don't know, now you know. Neptune is the planet associated with dreams, surrealness. The trident symbol for Neptune, that is like the Poseidon, ocean energy, dream space. And Neptune is also connected to blurriness, blurred lines sometimes. Neptune is not on firm ground. Neptune is rooted in cloud. I'm looking at my cloud background, in clouds, the sea, all that sort of stuff. It's mystical. It's fantastical. It can also be really connected to fashion. I have a really fun Neptune final degrees of Pisces Neptune episode that's coming out that I recorded so long ago with a special guest. And I don't know, life happens. And this year was hard with like the fires. And then I was also coming off cat grief and stuff. And not to make excuses and share them here now, but like it was delayed. It's recorded, but it's delayed. But I'm kind of stoked that it's coming out in this timeliness. So it will, I'm excited to listen back to and see um, what hits. So more episodes to come, even better reason to be a supporter. So you can get all of that stuff. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. Well, I mean, this is like so fucking far in the future, and we'll see what technology exists come then. What am I imagine? I'm still Substacky in 2039. Is that even possible? It will briefly retrograde into Taurus in 2038, is what I saw, which is even crazier to think of Neptune in Taurus. What? Like that doesn't even like sound right, but okay. Actually, it does kind of sound right. Neptune in Aries sounds a little odd. Aries, like Neptune is home in Pisces. Neptune's been very home in Pisces, and Aries is way more like, what is up? Where Pisces is like, I don't know. And Aries is like, I want to know. And so this is going to also impact, design, fashion. Um, it's said, I can't remember where I heard this, but somewhere it's been said that Neptune acts as this higher octave of Venus. And so how we build our dreams is getting an Aries twist. So, okay, shall I go back for the class? Venus retrograde in Aries, March 1st, the full moon eclipse in Virgo, March 13th, Mercury retrograde, March 14th. Then we had the Aries Happy New Year, Astrological New Year, and not, exclusive to March. March 27th, Venus retrograde back into Pisces. 29th, new moon in Aries, solar eclipse, last one of the series. 29th, also, Mercury retrograde into Pisces. March 30th, Neptune in Aries. So that's why everybody been talking about this month, and it makes a lot of sense. And so that was a lot of information. And now let's synthesize it, right? Like, before I get into each of y'all's rising signs, just on a collective note, since so much of this is dealing with Aries and Pisces, right? I mean, I feel like I've just only been saying those signs besides the Virgo twist, but that is connected on the Pisces axis. We are dealing with the soul meeting the body. Pisces, the soul, Aries, the body, the form. Taking what has had form and deconstructing it. Taking things that have been formless and giving it a mission. And so I think for everyone this month, if you could do anything, one, like give yourself a fucking break because it's been crazy and things are not clear and things are changing. So one, be like truly be kind to your mind because um, you know, especially in the rise of like fascism and restrictive governments and things like the mental warfare, like that's where they go first. So like really be kind to your mind. Aries rules the head. And since Pisces is the dream space, like I need everyone to just like if this is the month you practice like, you know, getting apps that like get you off your phone or like whatever, like I think it's worth exploring. Besides my substance because you're learning stuff over here. But and hopefully it's not making you feel like shit and hopefully it's giving you a sense of peace and power and yeah, like you'll get through this. You've like lived through hard astrology before. It's just we're really seeing it be quite lived out loud in a way that maybe some of us aren't used to recognizing. So being kind to our mind, collective energy. Two, you guys, Venus retrograde of it all. It's a mixture of astrology and just like looking outside. Be smart with your resources. Do not give away your time, your energy. Do not work for free. Um, make sure that the trade, the agreement, um the expectations make sense. So be kind to the mind, number one. Number two, be mindful with your resources. I'm not gonna say a recession is coming. I mean, I think we know a recession's coming. Like it feels like, especially if all the um, the things that are being pitched as our financial um tactics are going to go through here in the United States, like of course it's coming. Like not fucking anyone can do math. Like you're going to charge other countries more for your bullshit, and then it goes on the consumer. Like it's just like a duh, and like you don't even need to like. I mean, if you're probably not listening to this if you're not like a well, I don't have the words to say it. I'm like, why am I being cowardice? Like I should just say it. Like if you're fucking racist, exclusive, and I keep holding up my two piece fingers, cutting the one and two because I haven't finished my thought on the second point. If you're a hateful person that is currently siding with this current administration, I doubt you're a fan of me because I'm just not. To put it mildly. So take care of your money, take care of your resources. Um, you're not trapped. We can make changes. We can figure out the budget. We can move things around. It just might take a lot of concerted effort. It might take calling your credit card companies and asking for higher maximum balance. Is that what it's called? You know what I'm talking about? Like higher limit. So it doesn't, so it helps your credit. It might be yeah, might be making some lunches instead of eating out. I don't know. Like not to be all like don't buy avocado toast so you can buy a house because that's literally not real. But there are little goals and little things we can do that make us feel more in charge of our resources. And your resources can also just be what you offer in your relationships. Also, I mean, God, like, would be remiss to not talk about like love in all of this. Like you deserve beautiful, beautiful love, a beautiful relationships, both in a romantic sense with your friends, in business, like you deserve respect. So treat yourself like you would want to be treated and don't just like roll over for, you know, the smallest signals of love because you just deserve like your bar, you can raise your bar. You know what I mean? Okay. And I don't know why I made this a 3 point thing, but it feels like I have to now have a third point, even though I didn't really start with that. But so be kind to your mind, be mindful with your resources. And the third, is just to like just get prepared. I think it's like I think once so the thing is once this March astrology ends and April comes, and then especially once we get into May, June, when we have the Jupiter switch, things are going to move again. We are going to have a lot of stuff restart or get moving, or like maybe some new news comes in. So, beyond the fact that Mercury retrograde definitely tells us to like slow down and like push contracts if you can, like if you have to sign a contract during Mercury retrograde, if there's no other time, you'll lose like a great deal. Like, yeah, don't ever, work against yourself just because of the planets, especially maybe you have natal Mercury retrograde and this doesn't even count for you. But does that not mean like get a second opinion, make sure a lawyer looks at it? Of course, like do the due diligence, but get prepared for a lot of grow and flow that is coming in this after April 12th into the spring summer, because that is coming. Like it is, because we've been in such a like clogged up time. The drain is getting pulled out on April 12th and beyond. So be ready to go. Um, Not in like a doomsday sort of way. Well, I hope not. But hopefully it is in a, riches and love and exciting and happiness sort of sense, or with your business or what have you. Because um, I think powerful rich men have hired astrologers before. I do not think this White House is using astrology, because if they were, they would not be doing any of the things, period. But especially during this time, because this is so not about these kind of changes. This is not when you implement changes like this, even if you were going to do dumbass changes like this. So maybe on a like hyper optimistic point of view, maybe everyone will tap in and let them know they're so dumb and this has to end, and that rebound will come um April 12th and beyond. But if not, it's just like we're getting prepared then for the new reality, which might be a new ecosystem in general of how we shop, how we love, how we connect with ourselves. And I think that's the big message too. Like, it sounds fucking corny, but it is going to be secret to getting through this time is to really making sure that your mental and your body, your spiritual and physical are okay. So please, like, meditate, drink water, go on your walks, do yoga, hang out with friends, do what you need to do to feel like yourself. And just know that everyone else is feeling that way too. And you're not alone on an island. Okay. Well, should I get in? I'm gonna just do a quick rapid fire rising sign diagnosis, if you will, for each sign and what they might expect for March. This is March for the rising signs.